Hello, as promised we're going to do the bromine test. Now the bromine test is a very simple test that's used to distinguish between the unsaturated and the saturated hydrocarbons. Remember, we haven't mentioned saturated and unsaturated for a little while, so you've probably forgotten. The saturated hydrocarbons are the alkanes. They don't have any double or triple bonds. The unsaturated are the alkenes and the alkynes, because they have a double or triple bond. And this test is used to distinguish between them. And so effectively it's a way of looking at whether or not a hydrocarbon has a double or triple bond or not. Now it's sometimes referred to as the bromine test, or sometimes it's just referred to as bromine solution or bromine water is added, or a hydrocarbon reacts with bromine to do discolor. So don't always be looking out for the words bromine test, because it can be used in other contexts, but this is what it's basically about. Okay, so bromine is a brown solution or reddish brown solution when it's dissolved in water or a couple other things. Alkanes will not decolor the bromines, so it stays brown. Okay, and so this is an alkene. Because it's got a double bond, most of hydrocarbons are colourless. You add it to the red-brown, so you're adding colourless to red-brown, so you expect to have red-brown. But when it's an unsaturated hydrocarbon, it results in a colourless, so we lose the colour. There's a decolouring, or it goes colourless. And that's because the bromine, can you hear that? That's a tractor in the background. The bromine goes on to, or it attacks this double bond and goes onto the molecule, and therefore it's because it's now occurred on a molecule, you don't have that red-brown colour. So that means that you should be able to do all these chapter 8 questions. Okay, there's one more slide coming up just to visualize it, and these will be highlighted on your OneNote. So let's have another visual of the bromine test. If you test it with an alkane or an alkene, you add the bromine water and the alkane will stay brown, and the alkene reacts with the bromine, and the bromine goes attaches itself to the carbon that had the double bond or the triple bond, and it goes colourless. Pretty straightforward, and there's a couple of questions that you do, gives you the idea of how it's used in terms of hydrocarbons. So the next video will be our last one, and that's on polymers. See ya!